Hi Ramya, super happy to connect with you and congratulations on your graduation. How does it feel, Ramya?
It's good. It's great. With all the energy levels I have today from when I started this program, not knowing if I can confidently get to that strength training. That was one of my biggest goals, is like get to that strength training part, which I have been wanting to do, but didn't have the skills or the information on how I can get onto that journey. I think that's one of the biggest gains, and that helped me to definitely, get to that point of starting to see the numbers shift. And my body has taken that so well, and we did not start with continue where some of the fitness programs, they say that it's a 6 week program, let's get onto it day one. And I've seen like orange theory, or like there's so many other fitness things, right, where you're like pushed to do, but then your body also doesn't take it so well, right? You have to start off with mini goals. And I think that's one of the things that helped me with this program, is to start with those mini goals that are sustainable, right? One day you don't do it, that's fine, but you get back onto the track. And that consistency has shown the results to what we are talking today.
Absolutely, incredibly proud of your commitment and the efforts that you've shown towards your journey, Ramya. So, if we go back to that first day, when you reached out to me saying, Srividya, I need help, what was going on in your life? Can you elaborate a little bit, please?
Yeah, when I reached out to you, one thing was like, I know that I'm eating healthy, and I know that I am kind of doing some sort of workout, but I was not losing any weight, and I was, gaining week over week. I was, forget about losing, but I'm eating healthy and I'm trying to do the movements as and when I can. But I'm still like week over week, if I see there's like a half pound or a quarter pound gain than what I used to be before, then I was completely lost of like, what am I doing wrong? Because I'm not eating like a whole bag of chips or anything. I'm eating all the healthy stuff. That's what, went on into my mind. Like when I started this program, is like, can we really do this? Right? Is my body in a mode of that hormonal changes where it cannot, come back? That's kind of where I was stuck.
Yeah, so you are in your 40s, Ramya, and you are going through perimenopause, right? These are certain shifts that we start noticing in our body, that no matter what we do, things are very, very difficult to change. Or we
Right.
would probably be doing the same thing, but the body is responding differently by holding on to more fat. So this is exactly what you experience. I remember our conversation. You said, it's so scary. Like I'm continuing to gain. Like if in 1 year I've gained this much, what's going to happen the next year? That
Right.
really shook you, right? You said, oh, I've got to now do something about this, or I cannot handle this. So what were some things that you were experiencing at that point, Ramya?
I mean, there is like, when I mean, my job is like continuously sitting at the desk, and that's one thing. Like when I'm continuously sitting through the desk, like 8 hours, or even not continuously 8 hours, but you sit for a couple of hours, then you take a break, you sit for a couple of hours again. I used to have back pain, my knees were aching, and the my wrist and the arms where I use the keypad and the mouse, there were aches in that region. So there's nothing like much I could do about that. It's like, okay, constant moves are okay. There is like some stretches that I would try to do, but none of that really, helped me. I think that's now, turning back and seeing now, it's like where I was there versus actually I'm sitting a lot longer now compared to what I was, but I don't have those, aches or, muscle pains, or I don't have anything. And that's one of another, I would say, you call those micro measurements, right? Micro winning factors. That's another winning factor, I would say.
So you were hurting a lot. sitting a lot, right? And now when you look back, you're like, right now, the progress that you see is you're physically very active, you're stronger, you're able to sit for longer times. What does it do to your energy and your mood, Ramya, during the day?
Energy is, and mood are like really awesome. They're great. No matter what it is, I'm able to like get through that, right? Whatever it's sometimes you just get like angry, and but that kind of, I would say, reduced a lot compared to what it used to be before. Even at work, or anybody says something, it's a different mindset on how to take that thing, right? Like, okay, fine, if I can make these the same goals that I made learning in your program, I can adapt that to any part of life, right? Like being at work or being with kids or anybody. Like, how do I break this down, right? How do I make this into mini goals, and how do I achieve them, right? That's kind of the mindset shift.
Absolutely.
Um,
So the tiny habits approach, right? Like whatever be your
right.
goal, break it down into tinier chunks and chip away at it so that you're able to reach that goal. So that's one big shift in terms of your mindset that you got out of the program. Second thing, mood. You were able to handle your mood swings much better. Again, perimenopause throws a lot of mood swings at us, like it gets very exacerbated because of the hormonal shifts. So when you used to be snappy or irritated at people earlier, you saw that because you started feeling better, you were able to handle that whatever changes around you much better. Is that right, Ramya?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So what was going on in terms of your energy when you started, like before you started?
Before I say, it's on and off, right? There are days in the month that I'm like happy, active, but then there are days in a month, especially a week before my periods, or like 10 days before my periods, I would be you know, going downhill. I felt like I was going downhill. I don't have much energy to do anything. And, the days when I get sick, I was like totally exhausted. I couldn't even do anything, right? Like, given the fact that, you have kids, you have family, you're managing the work, these all things come as a hindrance, right? If you're not able to do your routine and chores, it just it's you feel guilty about it, and at the same time, although your family wants to help you out, even then you feel like I felt a lot of guilt, like that I'm not able to do all my tasks I'm supposed to do. That's another thing, right? That this program changed is like, it's I have all the energy, even the days when I got sick, like, you know um, I think you have noticed me coughing and with cold, but still I was able to carry through. I was able to carry through with my day-to-day activities. And yeah, I had the cold, I had the cough, it came and it went away. But from energy standpoint, nothing was like really draining out.
Living in the US, Ramya, it's you don't have the luxury of a domestic helper, right? So you
Yeah.
have to do all the chores. It's not easy, and you're managing your work, you're managing your children, you're being your a supportive spouse, daughter-in-law, based on if whether your dad or your father-in-law stayed with you. You had so many things to focus on, right? And that at that point you felt very, very drained out, and the mood was impacted by that, right? Tell me about your confidence in your physical ability and confidence relating to your body image. How did you feel at that point?
That's when I really said, like, okay, I really need to do something about it, right? Like, there needs to be some consistency that I need to bring to myself first, and then that's when I can tackle things around me, right? So that's one of the things is like, back then it's like, okay, one day I would go for a workout, the next day there would be something that comes up, right? Then my workout goes to the last least priority, and then I wouldn't find time to go to workout. So workouts and my priority was like to the bottom, right? That's when I was not able to handle many things. Although I was trying to take care of everything, but because I didn't prioritize myself, it's like then everything was so hard to handle around me. So that's another thing, like, what this program helped me learn is like how do you set time for yourself so that you can take care of everything else?
Absolutely. I think one of the first things, if I remember right, was putting you at the top of your priority list, right?
Right.
Ramya, you are important. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be happy. You need to top that list. So when you take care, I think one of the first things we did was after you wake up, figure out one thing that you want to do that makes you feel happy. And we picked on movement as one of your first practices, right? So how did you feel about your physical abilities? I know you are going through aches and pains, knee pains and, random body aches, back aches and all of that. So how did you feel about your confidence in your physical abilities at that point?
My confidence was kind of low. It's not that I'm giving up, but it's kind of like, where am I going with this, right? Where am I going? Can I do it or not? Right? That confidence, I didn't have that confidence. And even with the weight gains and everything, right? I didn't have that confidence of would I even come down? Um, what is it that I'm not doing right? Like, all these questions were there in my mind.
So when you looked at yourself in the mirror, Ramya, who did you see at that point?
Myself but a different me, right? If I scroll through the pictures like 10 years ago, my picture was completely different, and now it is like, bulged up. It's like, okay, women go through different phases, but again, looks is one thing, but I have to feel confident about myself, right? If I'm looking at myself, I have to feel confident. And looking at me, I was not that what I was, right? And yeah, we change, but again, there is aging gracefully is one thing, and then you're not taking good care of yourself is another way of doing it, right? You're not prioritizing, or you're not taking care of yourself, and then your body is like totally out of control and out of shape. That's another way. So that's at one point is like, I have to do something. I have to do something that will put me in that better shape.
That was a big revelation, I'm sure, Ramya. Looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, where did all of these years go? Like, what happened to my body? Something needs to change, right? That probably would have been a trigger moment for you to
Hmm.
sit up and realize, oh, I got to do something about it because the way this is going is not really moving me in the right direction, right,
Right.
Ramya? So how did you feel fitting into your clothes?
I was getting to that point of like, I was always like into like this um, medium uh, co- I mean, most of the brands, I was like in a medium. And then slowly I got to that shift off to large. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to get to that anything beyond that. And that's when I'm like, okay, then we came back to the program, right? Now I'm confident that now I'm going back to that like large still fits me, but it fits me loose. And I've tried, I think this weekend I was trying a medium on, and it medium also is fitting me. So I'm like, okay, there is something that shifted.
Absolutely. So the way you felt about yourself, how did it impact your social health, Ramya? In terms of, you being in the US, I'm sure you have a lot of parties, events to go to. How did you feel dressing up and going to those events?
Dressing up and going to the events was not a big thing. It was fine, but again, when I look back into the like the pictures, right, of myself, is like then I would realize that okay, I'm not the same self as me that I was like 2 years ago, right? So that's one of the things also is like awakening moment for me is like, okay, I need to get back into what I used to be, because I don't want to be the one dressing up for a party and trying to like look for going through my wardrobe looking for like which one is going to fit me. I used to fit comfortably into all of them, so I need to get back to that thing of fitting into whatever I want, not restricting myself to like, okay, now I'm going to wear only these because I'm out of proportion.
Yeah, and I will tell you that's such a mental drainer to stand in front of the wardrobe and keep thinking, okay, what is going to fit me today? and
Yes,
trying on clothes and removing them, and the blouses, especially the sari blouses. That's
yes,
like
yes.
that's like so brutal, right? Like it tells you on the face, like, hey, you know what, your body has changed and you cannot fit
Changed
into
a
those
lot. Yeah.
anymore. You have to keep removing the stitches. So it's a very, very difficult feeling to go through, right? And you said, okay, you know what, I've got to change this right now. Right. So
Yeah.
it was an awakening moment where you had to do this. So now tell me, Ramya, we've worked for about 6 months now. Talk about the journey. How did it feel for you? What kind of progress do you notice now?
So one of the things when I started was, the thing that I liked about this program so much is like you were never like, pushing me to do, anything, right? It was you were giving me tips and techniques on how to achieve them. I think that was helpful, right? Like, if you're telling someone like, oh, cut out all your, rice, and then yeah, you would do that for a couple of days. And then, but you would not, you go back to it, and that's not sustainable, right? You gave me tips and techniques that would sustain me, by doing small things at a time, right? You gave me every 2 weeks we met, you gave me one task, one or two tasks, both from movement standpoint and nutrition standpoint. And I think the first week when we met, you did not even give me anything to nutrition. And that week I thought like, she's not saying anything about nutrition. When is she going to talk about nutrition? Right? You got me into that consistent movement goals, right? Once I achieved that consistently, that's when you really started talking about, now let's talk about nutrition on, how to plate your meals, etc. And even that was not like, cutting out completely, right? That's also, you started off small, help me understand, relearn my, things of like, you're eating healthy, but again, healthy also has healthy healthy calories, right? So looking at what is really important, and how you can measure, not really like, when I say measure it, you never told me like, weigh your things or put your grams or nothing of that sort, but you taught me how to like plate my meals and like what to focus on and the water intake and all of that. So that's like a big shift and big learning thing. And consistently following that's another big achievement, I would say.
Super. So you're a complete vegetarian, Ramya, right? So how most women come to me and ask me, "Oh my God, I'm a vegetarian. I don't have protein sources to choose from." So how did you feel you did with your protein sources?
No, it's again, like I said, you helped me learn that thing, because I completely stopped taking milk and yogurt because I thought those were the things that were making me bloated so much. So I stopped taking those. And as a vegetarian, when I stopped doing that, my protein source was like pretty much tofu, eggs, chickpeas. And too much of chickpeas also is like makes you bloated, right? So I was like, okay, what is making me bloated? I never realized that carbs are the ones which make you bloated, right? Until you taught me about it, like, and then now I'm safely taking my milk and I'm safely eating Greek yogurt, which has like, 20 grams of protein per cup. And that keeps me full, right? Learning about what you can eat and what you don't want to eat, right? So those are one of the things when I came to you is like, oh, this weekend I had this whole biryani and my tummy is like bloated up, right? That's when we shifted back and like, okay, how can you eat the biryani, but then what else can you eat with it so that you don't eat just the biryani and get bloated, right? And till then I didn't even realize that biryani is the one that's making me bloated, not the yogurt or not the milk.
Absolutely. So that was a good learning for you. Now tell me, most women ask me, oh, you know what, do I have to cut out my favorite foods? Do I now have to stop eating my snacks and stop all the pleasures in my life? How did it feel for you, Ramya?
So that's another thing. When I came to you, like okay, afternoons I have my chakli or I have my one laddu or whatever it is, but you never asked me to like stop completely, right? You asked me to like pause and think. right? So that's one of the things that you taught me is like when you have that urge to eat, just pause and think like, do you really want to eat? Or you just drink a glass of water and you're full, right? What is making you eat? So pausing that and making me think, right, is like some days, even after pausing, I do want to eat my chakli, then I go for it, right? I don't want to deprive myself. Okay, I go eat that one chakli, but pausing on a lot of days helped me a lot, right? Pausing on, and I think this Shivaratri, Mahashivratri, I was able to even fast for that. I mean, I did eat a banana, but I was able to fast most of the day, which I wasn't able to do it before. Before,
Mm.
when I did that, I got a lot of headaches, or I my energy was low. I couldn't really do it. But I don't know if it is like the exercising part, the movement part, or eating right. But I was able to just do away with the banana on the whole day. So it's like helping me to connect to like going back to my spiritual things. Also, I can easily manage without draining myself. That's what I wanted to
That's so
say.
amazing, Ramya. I mean, that's really the icing on the cake now, like right at the end of the program, to be able to fast and your body responding so well. That's
Right,
really
right.
amazing. So, Ramya, let's talk about intuitive eating skills, Ramya, because that is one of the things that is a tool other than calorie counting. Like we did not have to weigh or measure your food or
No.
punch it into a calculator, make it very difficult on you, but instead we focused on a body focused approach, right? A body aware approach, which puts you in the position of power to decide what choices to make, how much to eat, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? How simple it was, how integrated you felt with relation to your lifestyle and your habits?
Hmm. So one of the things was I felt like, when I did not come to this program, I did my own little things, right? So then I was skipping breakfast. I was not eating breakfast. I was waiting till the lunch. I was drinking my coffee. That's pretty much my breakfast. And then I was going until lunch, where I got like really hungry. And then when you get really hungry, you would just load up yourself on carbs, right? So that's what was going on. And then when you started looking at the nutrition and everything, then you started teaching me how to, go with the breakfast that is protein rich, right? And so you helped me with like recipes, either it being in eggs and, vegetables, or it could be like Greek yogurt with oatmeals and, a lot of fiber in it. So that's with the banana, and those are the things that I think shifted a lot, because then I was eating that good protein rich breakfast. And towards the lunchtime, even if I did not eat rice, there are some days like today, I don't think I ate any rice. I just ate um, all subsies. Today, pretty much,
Okay.
I ate a little, I had rasam, like that was my soup. And I had tofu. I had tofu as a sabzi and a little bit of salad. That's pretty much I ate, and a little bit of yogurt, Greek yogurt on like I would say 2 to 3 spoons of Greek yogurt, and that kept me full, right? Because I was splitting this a little bit during breakfast and then lunch. I did not really need to like grab like so much of carbs or a whole bowl full. That portion control. And even for dinner, I just took like 1 spoon of rice, 1 tablespoon, I would say, of rice, but with a whole bowl of rasam. So that's kind of a soup. And I'm still full, right? The amount of fibers that you get loaded into your body versus carbs, that's kind of what, you know, I realized completely with this program.
Absolutely. So I'm also seeing this with almost every woman that reaches out that they are eating such less fiber. And fiber is super important, especially when you're getting into perimenopause and menopause, both from a gut health standpoint and from a weight loss standpoint. So, how does your body feel today compared to when we started, Ramya?
It feels amazing. First thing is you have that fullness feeling, then you don't really want to go back and eat all the junk or whatever you want to eat. And even today I can realize there are, when you are like outside or when you're going somewhere and you don't eat the enough amount of fiber and protein, then you tend to lean towards like, oh, what can I grab quickly, right? And so that's one of the reasons I make sure that, okay, I have something fiber rich and protein available, or I'm eating before going somewhere. That way I can control what I'm eating there, right? So that's one of the things that, helped me going.
Absolutely. And what you feed yourself has immense impacts in your energy level, in your mood, in your sleep, in the way you
Yeah.
manage stress, right? So, what shifts have you noticed in all of these spheres?
So sleep is one thing I don't want to talk, because I was always sleeping. So is that's I didn't have a problem area in that space. But my energy levels, definitely I can tell, right? Even during the periods or before my periods, I just have that full energy. There's no way I'm stopping, or like I don't need to like pause and sit down and, be lethargic. I don't have that feeling. And that one thing I definitely noticed is like the days when you minimize carbs, at the same time, I'm not starving myself, but at the way you eat is like gives you that energy. I think you're fueling your cells with the right nutrition and the right content. And when you do that, your energy levels are like um, completely up there.
Absolutely. And your recovery, Ramya, how do you feel about your recovery now compared to before?
Right, like I said, before when you got sick, it went on for days, right? Now I feel like I get sick, okay, fine. In a day or a two, I'm still like back to normal. And even during that days of like, I have a runny nose or what it is, I don't feel like I need to like go sit on the couch or anything. I went on an India trip. While like coming back, I was coughing continuously. I was coughing, or in the flight I picked it up, or what it is. But
Hmm.
then that did not lower my energy levels. That's one of the things. Is like, yeah, cough went and came, gone, but my energy levels were completely on. It's like, so be it. It's not draining me out of, it's not halting my life or anything of that sort. Before I would be stuck to the couch, or just, stuck to the bed, but that's not the case now.
Yeah, so talk about travel. I mean, that is real life, right, Ramya? I mean, while we worked for about 6 months, you had travel to India, you
Yeah.
had Thanksgiving, you had Christmas, you had New Year, you had all the festivals, social events relating to that. So, how do you think the program integrated with all of that was going on in your life?
Yeah. So again, like, there's never a perfect time, right, to start any of this kind of programs. It's like there's always life goes on, and there's so many things that come along the way. And then the skills that you taught kind of sustained me through all of these, right? Like, right before going to India, I came to you asking, like, hey, my travel is coming up. What do I need to do? Right? I don't want to gain this 10 pounds back again when I come from India, right? So then you gave me like options of like, you drink your, hydrate yourself wherever you are, keep up with the movement, and, make sure you're doing your, even if you're doing your 10 squats, or even you're doing your sit-ups, you don't need a gym for that. You can do that right at your desk, or you can do it in your room wherever you are, right? So that's one of the things really helped me with, even in India trip, is like the first thing I would get up, and like before anybody was up, or like even in the room, I would do some sit-ups, some wall push-ups, and like, squats. And I would just like, jog in the same place where I am, and like, or just walk around till I got my, 5,000 steps at least, until I, go into my other chores. That helped me. That helped me a lot. When I came back from India, maybe I gained a pound, not more than that. And when you're in travel, when you're with your family and all, it's fine if you gain a pound. But then you helped me, you gave me the techniques on how to lose that too. And the same thing that continued on, I was making sure I'm eating more fiber food compared to like loading up on just rice or roti. That's another thing. Wherever I am, even in India, I was able to manage to get more fiber food. India has a lot of vegetables. So I know people
Absolutely.
complain that India only there is only rice. I'm like, no, there's not rice. It's just your perspective and how you think about it. There's a lot of vegetables. There's a lot of food. I mean, a lot of options compared to US, if I think of that way. There's a lot of variety that you can eat there.
So this time around, Ramya, what felt different for you when you were either traveling or when you were handling festivals or social events? What felt different for you?
Different is that having the mindful thinking of, pausing. Do I really need to? What is it that I'm going to gain if I'm eating it? Right? So that mindful thinking is what kind of set me up, right? Like to stay where I am, from the number standpoint and also from energy standpoint, right? There are days where I went out to eat with family or with friends. I enjoyed that, but at the same time, I have to also look, what am I enjoying? Am I enjoying the food, or am I enjoying the company of others, or why am I here, right? Food is not the only source of entertainment. That's one of the things you taught me, is like food is not the only source of entertainment. You can try. I tried new foods that I have never eaten before. There is this lotus stem,
Ah,
chips that I tried.
oh yeah, oh my God.
Yeah,
That's so
they're
amazing.
amazing. They're amazing. But again, did I eat a whole plate full? No, I ate like a couple of them and I'm like, great, they're nice. Right. So it gave me alternatives of like trying new things, but at the same time, I'm not gulping things down, right? Chewing
Yeah, so
slowly, taking your time. Before, I never drank water in between my meals. And that's another thing you taught me, like, take your water beginning and take your water towards the end, and in between take few sips. That also is like helps me to keep that feeling of like 80% full, and then so that I don't have to go for my second serves.
absolutely. So the mindfulness, the mindful eating, first of all, pausing and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, right? So
Mhm.
understanding your behavior not from a surface level, but go deeper and understand what has happened, because these are all habits that have been built over so many years that we are trying to break out of and build new habits. So mindfulness again is something that was a game changer for you. So now tell me, Ramya, how would you define your relationship with food now compared to how it used to be?
Uh, I would again say use that word of mindful, right? Like, why am I eating? Questioning myself of why am I eating, right? Like, am I eating because I'm hungry? Am I eating because, you give me that tool of like for pleasure? Am I stressed? What am I eating out for? And like, if I'm really stressed, food is not the source, right? What can you do to get that stress out? Maybe take a walk, or play with your dog, or play with the kids, or do something else, right? There are different ways you can get that stress out of you. um, and that's another thing, like with the food, is like food is not the only thing out there. And that's now I see food as like, okay, it's needed for survival, right? That's that's pretty much. It's like there are new things you want to try out. That's fine, but it's not the only thing.
So, how do you handle cravings now, Ramya, if it were to crop up?
I think the only time I get those cravings is during the my periods, and I feel like eating a candy or a chocolate or something like that. I I have some, put some dates in my closet, and during that time I just take like one or two dates, and that's still like, it's not like breaking my bank, but it's just keeping my tummy happy, my, mood swings and everything in perspective, and it's not putting me onto like, out of control.
So it's largely reduced from where you were before, right?
Right.
And you also shared this great news that you're no longer feeling that PMS like you used to before. So can you talk a little bit about that, Ramya? Like how your body changed?
Yeah, body definitely changed around that time, right? Like, when you have periods, before I used to have these, I don't know, sometimes there was no reason I was crying, right? I don't know why. Any small thing triggered me to cry. Like, I don't have that, sensation now. Um, and I don't have the pains, the back pains, or like, the cramps that you typically get. Um, and it's just that energy levels are still the same, like day one, day five, like nothing of that sort. The energy levels are still the same. And it comes and goes, right? Before I can sense and tell when I'm going to get my periods. Now it's like it comes and goes. It's like there's no like pre warning to it or anything. That's another good thing. It's like, okay, fine.
I remember you mentioning like few months into the program, Srividya, I didn't have any notice. Like it just showed
Yeah,
up so
exactly.
unexpectedly. Like what's going on? You know? So the body, like from plating hormone friendly meals, your body starts working with you based on
Mhm.
what you're doing, and it really supports you very well, Ramya. That's what is going on. So one of the things that we incorporated was definitely strength training, right? Because you wanted to, but you were somewhat inconsistent, and somewhere you kept giving excuses. Oh, I have work, I have this, I have that. So, not prioritizing it, right? And then we slowly started off saying, Ramya, why don't you just keep the weights at your desk? So that way, whenever you have some time, you do it. From there to now, you are like literally. You've become an addict now, to strength training.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's talk about that journey, Ramya. How do you feel now, and what did you feel before?
Before it was like strength training to me was like a push, right? Walk was much easier. Strength training was like, do I have to do it? And like, oh, really? I have to do it. Like, there are days that I did it. I think you've seen my chart. Like, in a weekly basis, you asked me to do it 3 times. I did it like once, and I would come to you with like, I didn't feel like doing it, or I didn't have the time to do it. Right? Instead, I went for a walk. I didn't have the time. But now is like weather perspectives, right? Like I couldn't really go out for walk. Then I was like, I need to do something about this, right? I cannot just say I'm not doing anything, right? That will take me back to where I was. And so that's when strength training really helped out. It's an indoor thing, and I pushed myself like, okay, let's start doing it. And once I got used to lifting those weights, and whether it being a machine, using the machine, or whether just doing the dumbbells, now I got to the point of like weekly at least 4 times I'm doing it. And even on the days when I do cardio, I still want to you know do like the lat pull downs, or I want to do like the triceps, or just the leg extensions, or anything of that sort. That's just giving me, you know I guess it just relaxes me. It just relaxes me.
Such a
Before
de-stressor.
I would never spend an hour in the gym. I would never do that. But now it's like, okay, 5 to 6 is my time. 6 I have to come back, because then I have to take care of, other things at home. Um, but now it's like when I get to a weekend, or like if I don't need to come back by 6 because there's no school or whatever, then I keep going for another, like easily another half an hour more, like, doing some push-ups or something or the other. Before it was not the case. Before it was like half an hour. I'm like, I'm always seeing the watch, like, oh, when is it half an hour? I need to go. But now it's like I can stay longer and I can do few more laps, right? So that's kind of the mindset
That is
shift.
huge, huge, Ramya. So, how did you feel? Like we See, a lot of women reach out to me, they are beginners to strength training, right? So, how did you feel about the progression that we took you through? We started with body weight workouts at home, and then I created a gym-based workout, and then we progressed you to that with instructional videos. So, how did you feel about the overall progression?
If we started small. We started small. You gave me that first initial um, kickstart, I would say, for like 20 minutes, or even if you don't do 20 minutes, just to show up, right? Just do that one or two things that keeps you going, right? So that's what where we started off. And I think that we slowly built on that little habits, I would say, to and you gave me the things of like how you do the stretches in the beginning. So there is that part of like 5 to 10 minutes of those stretches, and then you do your core, and then you relax out, right? So that's kind of helped a lot to build that, I don't know, muscle power or strength or whatever you call it, but flexibility, I would say. It gave that flexibility for the muscles.
How did it help you in your day-to-day chores, Ramya? Because I know you had heavy winter, you had to like blow the snow out, so much was going on. I
Oh yeah,
remember,
that one time I know. This time when I, did the showeling and all of that, my arms I got were very strong. I did not feel that tenderness, that soreness when I did it. I did not really feel that tenderness or soreness in my arms. And even winter, sometimes when you're in winter, like your joints get stuck, and you feel like the, very tender joints. I don't really feel that anymore. It's like, they're always, even in at rest, they are doing their work, I guess. So I don't feel that tenderness in the joints. And
so so you're feeling strong, feeling very empowered, lifting these weights. It's translating into your day-to-day work that you do,
yeah,
be it at home or at work. What about that knee and that back pain that you came to me with?
that's not there. The knees and the back pain is absolutely not there. If at all, if I get a pain, if because I lifted something and I pulled something, it could be the reason. But um, just sitting at the desk, there's no pain at all. And that helps me to take care of the work responsibilities also, right?
Mm.
If I'm constantly complaining about back pain or knee pains, then I'm not focusing on what I'm trying to do at work. And that's another thing. Now that I don't have these pains, I can, give my full attention to what I'm doing at work. So that's another, gain.
So one of the skills that we build in our program is definitely mindset skills, Ramya, right? How to recognize the patterns that is keeping you stuck and how to get
Mhm.
out of that. Be it
Right.
relating to all or nothing thinking, or be it relating to food habits, or the way you see yourself on hard days, what kind of a mindset do you operate with on those kind of days, like off days, hard days, right? So, what do you think has shifted for you specifically based on what you are going through, mindset wise?
Mindset wise, I mean, it's about, the thought process also, right? The thought process, like, can I do it? Thought process versus I can do it, right? So that's a big shift to me. It's like before you were kind of skeptical and you're doubtful about your own skills, and now I'm like, I can do this, right? That's kind of the shift, I would say. And that goes with the strength training, and that goes the same thing with at work too, right? Strength training, okay, if I am lifting like 20 pounds on my lat pull downs or whatever, how can I go to 25, right? Or how can I go to 30? And even if I do it like 5 times, right? Like instead of 10, can I do it? And you help me build that too, right? Like even if you're doing less weights, you complete that, the complete lap, right? And then you go on to it, increase it, right? So that mindset of like, same thing applies. at work as well. Start small, make that big change, and then you consistently do things, right? That is a big change for me. That's a
Absolutely.
mindset change.
Right? So always something like show up imperfectly, chip away at it, quit that all or nothing thinking, do something towards
Yeah,
yourself, towards taking care of yourself, right? Do not give up. And even on a hard day, it's okay to scale down certain things. It's not about go hard or go home, right? It's not about constant hustling, but understanding how your body is behaving on that day with respect to energy, recovery. Scale your tasks based on that so that you can
right.
accomplish everything around you. You're not just focusing on yourself, right? You're taking care of your work, you're taking care of your children, you're taking care of your family, you're cooking for the family. There's so many things that we need to take account for in order to do our or focus on our personal journey. So again, understanding the workload for that day and knowing what you need to be doing that day for yourself. I think that clarity was big, right, Ramya? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a constant every single day. You can keep it flexible. That flexible
Mhm.
mindset again was something that we learned. And also about how to get yourself back on track after a setback,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That's very
Holidays,
important. Yeah.
holidays, festivals, social events, sickness, right? Travel. How do you get yourself back on track quickly so that you don't derail yourself from your goals but continue to maintain positive momentum? I think that those were some learnings also, Ramya, right? So let's talk about an aha moment, Ramya. Okay. Was there a moment during the program where you felt like, oh, wow, this is simply amazing? What was that for you?
It's or quinoa or like, I even tried barley, making it
Mm,
into like this is winter month, right? Barley soup one day, and it was like so filling, so satisfying. It's all soup. It's like water pretty much, and with lots of loaded with fibers, vegetables and stuff. So that's one of the aha moment. There's several of them. The day when I did not even think I can, you know, lift a 15-pound biceps. I never thought I could do that. And when I did that, that was like, that's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing.
right. So again, what you're saying is we are all caught in this belief and myth that, oh, we have to eat rice every single day. That is not so. Like carbs are everywhere. How do you plate your meal in a way where you're not relying entirely on rice, but playing around with other grains, millets, or different other sources of smart carbs? Like your starchy vegetables could be your carbs on that plate. Like you don't have to avoid potatoes or sweet potatoes, thinking that that's what is making you gain weight, right?
Right.
But I think what you're trying to say is being flexible with yourself and playing around with other things that could actually satisfy hunger, right? I
Yeah.
think that was a big aha moment for you. And how have you learned to balance everything now, Ramya? Because the big question is, oh, you know what? If I have to prioritize myself, that means I have to give up on other things. But you did not have to give up on anything.
No.
Life happened, life did not slow you down from anything. You
Yeah.
continued to make progress while life was happening. So
Right.
how do you feel about that skill that you have learned to balance everything and your journey?
I know there's a lot of, people think like if you're on a diet or if you're on this program, then you have to cook separately for yourself and then you have to cook for to meet everybody else's needs. And that's something I've learned that I don't need to do that. And I can easily match everybody else. Whatever I'm cooking for the family, I can make small adjustments and then I can fit in within my nutritional goals that I'm trying to achieve, right? Like, some I know the kids, their energy levels are very different than mine. And so they need their rice and they need their carbs and they're going for it. Doesn't mean that I have to eat, right? I can simply make extra sabzi when I'm making like, if I'm making 4 portions before, now I make 5 portions because I eat more sabzi now instead of rice. And like I said, some days I just eat subsidies and I don't need to even go for rice. That's Small things. We don't need to like shift everything out of the way, to get to what you're doing, right? Like, I'm a vegetarian, but I cook, chicken and everything else for the family. When I do that, I simply make like a nice omelet for myself with loads of veggies in it. And that's a small thing you can do within like, 2 minutes of the time that while you're doing other things. So these small changes from your mindset standpoint and the small changes that you make for yourself, you don't have to like go out of the way to make all of these. It's not like you're making an entire separate meal for you. You're not completely going out of the way to do anything, but you're fitting everything within that time you have.
Absolutely. And, I wanted to ask you about the weight loss perspective, right? The midsection fat was something that you were very uncomfortable with. Today, you've lost, I think we just measured, and you've lost about 58 centimeters overall. How do you feel about, I mean, the tummy used to be very bloated. That was your complaint when you joined, right? So, how do you feel about your midsection now?
It's great. I still have more to lose, but again, it's a great feeling. Being lighter compared to, I can say that I feel lighter compared to before. Even like, my neck muscles are much, relaxed. They're not, stiff like they used to be. My midsection, like I said, it's not bloated anymore. Like, I don't remember when I was bloated the last time. It's been months. I'm even having that feeling of bloating. So I don't feel that. It's great. It's just amazing. And
Yeah,
to get like a flat belly, there's a lot more to do, but at least this is in the right direction, I would say.
absolutely. You have the right skills now to continue to keep moving ahead and seeing even more progress now, Ramya. So again, you did not do this alone. You had me with you every step of the way. So I would
Oh
like to
yeah,
get
definitely.
understand how was it to have that kind of one-on-one emotional support, guidance, accountability, and expertise that seem to make a difference in your journey.
Yeah, one thing is if you're doing by yourself, you tend to lose that accountability, and you tend to like slide away from doing things. You would do it like few days and then you would slide away from it. But since I had you, like every 2 weeks, you are checking on me, and every 2 weeks, or you would send me every day, you would send me a daily tip, um, that you have for all your participants. And then it would be like, oh, I need to try that, or I need to think that way. And then you had the chart for me that way. I'm like, even if I didn't fill a couple of days, then I would go back and like, okay, I need to fill it out. So that then it gives me a visual thing of like, okay, to see, and where am I dipping versus where can I do better, right? So that visual seeing helped me. And definitely having that check-ins every 2 weeks, that also is like, okay, I need to go back. There is somebody I'm working with that I need to answer, and I need to answer for myself and them too. So it's like, that's you. And then, there is definitely that conversation, right? We have that conversation. If I did not do something, why is it like that? Makes me realize also, okay, why did I not do it, right? Is it just because I didn't find time, or, why did I not do it? It helps me rethink of why I could not do some things.
So overall, how would you say about I mean, what did you feel about the coaching experience overall, Ramya?
It's amazing. It's great that you have so much of information with you, and you're helping all of people like me, like to understand and learn things about our bodies, and like how bodies can be transformed and to get to a better, healthier shape, right? So that's an amazing, kudos to you. Like, you gave us
Thank you.
all the tools and the instruments to continue and sustain this journey through.
Super. So what is one thing you feel grateful about your body now, Ramya?
I would say it's more like, flexible and adaptable. So that's those are the two things that come to my mind, is like it's that having that flexibility, um not having that stiffness or anything of that sort. And it can adapt to different conditions. I would say where I'm living is like these all these weather changes and conditions, I can easily adapt to those conditions.
So that confidence in your body is simply amazing, right? Like no matter what happens around me, I know how to work with my body. I think that's
Yeah.
what you got out of this journey. What is one lesson that you will carry for life, Ramya, from whatever we went through?
It's trusting about myself and having that confidence that I can do things, right? It's when I don't think I lose that confidence, like, can I do? Instead, try it. Like you said, right? If it's small achievements also, that's fine, but try it, and you can do whatever it is, right? You achieve only a half of it, even still that is an achievement, right? Even though you think you want to do 100%, even if you get to 50%, it's still an achievement.
Absolutely. So if another woman your age was watching this and she was also feeling stuck, tired, unsure, what would you tell her, Ramya?
Oh, I would say, don't give up, right? I would say don't give up. Don't give up. Have that confidence. You can always do. But one thing you need from your side is consistency and belief that you can do it.
So consistency is again something that I mean people struggle with, right? So it doesn't come automatically. So in your scenario, how do you think you build consistency?
Over time, right? It's the first day when we started off, there was like couple of days where you were so regular and you were doing it, but then the third day is like, okay, whatever. But then again, you have to think through that end goal, right? You have an end goal. You have to remind yourself of that end goal every single day. And then when you have that goal, you can do it. Your mind kind of shifts through, right? If and like you said, like before when I started it, right, it was not like a consistent set time I would go and walk, or I would go and do my gym or whatever. It was whenever I found time. But then slowly, even then you pushed me like, okay, it doesn't matter, you just show up, right? You just show up that day and you do your thing, right, whenever you find time. But then that made me realize that, okay, if I have to show up and consistently do this, I have to set some time that works for me, right? That so then we went through the whole schedule thing, and like we looked at what really worked, right? So my thing for other women is like, one is prioritize yourself and put yourself first, so that then you can take care of everything around you. Put yourself first, start building that consistent habit, right? Even if it's one little habit, build that consistently, get that going, and then you can go to another one.
Great, great message, Ramya. Thank you so much for sharing this because it's never about lack of time.
Yeah,
It's
it's always
lack
how
of
you make things happen. I mean, in this cold weather, I'm still waking up at 4:30 in the morning and showing up at the gym by 5. That's, to me, I can't believe myself. I can't believe myself.
nice. So it's about lack of priorities, right? You're not
Right,
prioritizing yourself or you're not juggling your priorities well to the point where you're putting yourself first, right? So it's also about flexibility, keeping it very flexible. If you're going with that all or nothing thinking, that you think that consistency is all about doing everything every single day, that is not what it is. It's about, hey, it's like a dial. This is your lifestyle. Can you pick one thing that you do today? It's okay if you're
right,
not able to do the other things, but keeping it flexible. And like you said, finding the opportunity in your day to do this, right? A schedule works, but then if you're only working with a schedule, and let's say that day you're not able to do it, we need to figure out a backup plan to make sure
right.
you're able to stay consistent. So that is what consistency is all about. And thank you for sharing that, Ramya. So I would say you should thank yourself for trusting yourself to begin with this journey. Because again, it starts with some level of trust in yourself. And of course, you did not do this alone. You had me all along. So that goes hand in hand. And this journey was not just about weight loss, right? It
Yes,
was about
that's
listening to your body, trusting yourself again, building habits that actually fit your life at the current moment. With perimenopause, changing body, mind is changing. With all of those changes and your environment also going through shifts. Your children are growing up, they have their own demands. Spouse has his own emotional demands. So catering to all of that is not easy. And we are the pillar in our family. If we take good care of ourselves, the best beneficiaries are definitely our family members,
family. Yes.
right? So, so happy to have worked with you, Ramya, and I really appreciate your commitment and your consistent work, and also that eye on that goal. I think that did it for you. That drive that you got every single day with purpose that, hey, I've got to do this for myself.
Mhm.
Brilliant stuff, Ramya. So happy for you. And I'm here for you. Again, you have lifetime access to me. Anytime you face any challenges or you have questions about any skill sets, this is open doors, right? So you can
Sure,
absolutely reach out
definitely.
to me. I would love to hear about how you're doing ongoing, with any
Yeah,
updates.
definitely, definitely. We'll
So
definitely keep in touch.
keep me
And yeah,
posted.
I'll keep
And
you posted.
yes. And any new transition comes and you feel like you need another 3 months of coaching to just set you on your path, that is a possibility also. Okay.
Sure, definitely.
Take care, Ramya. Best wishes to you.
Yeah, and
Thank you so
definitely.
much. Thank you.
Hopefully, when you're in US sometime, we'll get to meet you.
Absolutely.